The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw Dating, preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
To Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, right here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Christy Scales and Bonnie Jill Laughlin. Ladies, how y'all doing today?
I feel good. I'm sure you guys already talked about it yesterday, but I mean, I know it's kind of two bad teams, but I'll take that win because it's something for them to build upon. And we're able to see that we could stop the run because I did think Singletary was going to have a big day and he didn't, and then obviously trying to establish our run a little bit. Rico impressed me. I still would like to get over 100 yards rushing at some point. I think we got like 102 maybe Cleveland week 1, but and Zeke did a little bit, so I was happy. And I think CeeDee's got his rhythm, and Dak looked great. Yeah. He was very efficient. So I was happy.
Hey, we didn't get a chance to hear. I know we're going to talk more of the Demarcus Lawrence news. And
yeah,
Micah
that's the only
Parsons.
thing, though. When you lose those two guys, it's like, gosh. I mean, obviously you take a dub all day long, but when you lose those two guys.
For sure. Did it give you a little hope, though, that win from the Giants? Did it give you more hope heading into week 5?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it gives these rookie guys confidence. We all know how much, this is the NFL. So any given Sunday, so any given Thursday night. So it was something where I thought, okay, we could start to see some flashes of what's the potential, and I was happy with it. I know, again, it's the Giants, just like how we talked about the Browns, but I'm going to take it because at this point, you don't know. Any opponent is a good opponent right now.
Yeah, that was one of the themes yesterday. Is a W is a W.
Yeah.
You don't get extra credit for winning pretty, or
right.
You're
in the win column, and
exactly.
and it's a division win, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know about the Giants being the Giants, though. We can't say that anymore because they didn't look too bad. They left some touchdowns off the field. That could have been a whole different game.
And that's what I like is that they held them actually to just 5 field goals, and no touchdowns. So that was good.
Yeah, and the thing that everyone was harping on going into that game was improving the run defense.
Yes.
And you mentioned Singletary, and when you allow only 1.1 yards per carry.
Was it 26 yards total?
Yeah, that's just an amazing way to finish. And actually, I say finish. You take it, move forward, and build upon it.
Exactly. And you were there. How was it? I mean, I'm sure you talked about yesterday, but how was the energy?
Yeah, it was good. There were a lot of Cowboy fans there. There always are when we play in New York. And so, the Giants hung in there pretty much. But, by the end, it was just the Cowboys fans that were left behind the visiting bench. So that's always sweet.
That's always sweet to see this run defense taking steps in the right direction.
Yes, I like
that. When you talk about the unfortunate news of Demarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, they will be missing some time. Demarcus Lawrence officially being placed on IR, and so that means that he will be out for about 4 weeks, could possibly miss some more time with that midfoot injury. But the Cowboys have signed KJ Henry, defensive end, who was on the Bengals practice squad. First thoughts on what Henry brings that other guys in that defensive end position in the Cowboys does not bring.
Played at a really good program at Clemson and was a 5th-round pick of Washington last year and got quite a bit of playing time for a 5th-round pick, over 200 snaps on defense and played in 10 games. And here's the main thing. In Washington last year, his position coach was Jeff Scanina, who is the new Cowboys defensive line coach. So there is product knowledge here. And so Jeff knows exactly what to expect from KJ as he comes in. But, if you look at the stat line, look beyond the sacks, 1.5 sacks, but also 6 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for loss, 9 pressures, pretty good against the run as well, overall 19 tackles. So that's a pretty good stat line in just 10 games. So what happened was after that rookie year in Washington, you go through the offseason, get to training camp. Washington releases him at the end of training camp and wants to sign him back to the practice squad. But because he's a young guy, he's on waivers. And actually, one thing I heard was that the Cowboys were considering claiming him off waivers, but Cincinnati got him. And so Cincinnati signed him to their 53-man. He played a couple games. He got reverted to the practice squad, and the Cowboys plucked him from the practice squad. So to me, the main thing is the coaching staff. There's already, some, as I say, product knowledge, but a better feel of exactly what he can do and how they think he can contribute.
Another thing I like is that he can contribute on special teams.
Exactly. Good point.
In 2023, he played 347 total snaps. Of course, 78 were special teams, not as much as his defensive snaps, but you love, of course, Bones Fossils. John Fossil is also going to be very happy about an extra body, an extra blocker on special teams as well. But what did you think about KJ Henry and the new signing? What do you feel like
I
he
actually
brings?
know one of the Bengals scouts. So he actually gave me a little bit of scouting report on him. And he said he's talented, athletic, and he said he really moves his hips well, Christy, so gets him off that corner really well, which I thought was, and he's got a lot of upside. He's got that cross chop move he told me about, and he's got a springy outside linebacker. So, they all said they loved him. So that, it's actually a huge loss for them because they were hoping to elevate him at some point. So for us to grab him, they said it's a win-win. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, he looks like kind of one of these taller, thinner guys.
Yes.
So kind of a off the edge guy.
Yes, exactly.
So,
but very athletic.
Yeah, but he also put up some decent, stats against the run the previous year in Washington. So hopefully he can hold that up because, that's one thing with Marshawn Nealon, the rookie, who's going to come in and be one of the starters now with both Micah and D-Law. Micah missing hopefully not too much time, but, he's a good player against the run. So you don't want that drop-off to where it's a guy who's like just a pass rusher.
Exactly.
And you mentioned Marshawn Nealon. So that's now 2 young guys within this defensive end room. That's a lot of youth. I don't know. Are you guys confident with that? I mean, you really don't have a choice, I guess.
Yeah, they're confident. We haven't really seen them. I mean, I recognize the name just from preparing for the Commanders last year, but other than just the recognition of the name, I couldn't tell you any more about it. That's why, Bonnie Jill, I'm glad you were able to talk to your friend who's the scout, because that's some good stuff.
It was
right
all
there.
pretty upside, which was good. The fact that he said that we would wanted to elevate him at some point, like that was there waiting, and then for us to grab him, that they were upset about that. So good job with the Cowboys for doing that.
For sure. With the state of this defensive line, I know it pains me to even think about it, with these losses, is there any concern heading in? I mean, because now you're putting your faith in. I mean, Marshawn Nealon, don't get me wrong, he has improved as a pass rusher.
He definitely has,
over the last couple of weeks.
And the coaches love him, they say.
They love him.
Yeah.
They do.
And he's more confident. You can see it in his play. But now you're having to rely on Carl Lawson and Chauncey Golston, who, again, has improved as well. But with the amount of snaps that they have not played, is there any concern of what the production looks like for them?
Well, I'd like to share something that Mike Tomlin, the Steelers head coach, said today in his press conference, and it goes to what we were talking about yesterday on this podcast. We were saying that Mike McCarthy had alluded to it. When you lose a Micah Parsons, when you lose a Demarcus Lawrence, 2 of the best at their position in the game, and Micah, one of the top 2 or 3 pass rushers, it's not a 1-for-1 exchange. You're not Chauncey Golston and Nealon are not replacing Micah and D-Law because nobody can. So we were talking about how Zimmer's going to have to, do some things and scheme it up. So let's hear what Mike Tomlin had to say about that today. Mike Zimmer is no novice. He's been around. We've competed against him over the years. I've got a lot of respect for his approach to ball, his aggressive, schematic demeanor. He's one of the godfathers of double-A pressure. Double-A, that means the pressure, the blitzing up the middle, pressuring the quarterback up the gap on each side of the center. In one-dimensional passing moments. I've seen it in Cincinnati. So Tomlin used to go against Zimmer twice a year when Zimmer was the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. We better prepare ourselves for multiple blitz looks and so forth. I'd imagine that he's going to have all the schematic tools at his disposal in terms of creating pressure on the quarterback, particularly, maybe with his edge guys out. You do what you've got to do from a coach's perspective, and I use this phrase all the time. If you've got red paint, you paint your barn red. And so with those dynamic edge people like Lawrence and maybe even Parsons out, we better get ready for a lot of schematic pressure from Zimmer.
I'm not going to lie. Can you, the red paint
Say it again. Isn't that cool? I love that. Okay. So this is Mike Tomlin. I use the phrase all the time, if you've got red paint, you paint your barn red. In other words, using the players
like
the way using players the way that, playing to their strengths, right? And if you're without two dynamic edge pass rushers, which they are, how do you compensate for that? So we were saying, do you send Demo on some things? Blitz overshown. Do you use Jordan Lewis off the nickel as blitzing from that? So, and it doesn't mean crazy things. It means mixing it up. Yeah. And Chauncey Golston is a guy who the previous couple of years was. Most of the time when he came in, it was in a nickel pass rush situation. And so instead of rushing from defensive end, they would move him to the inside and he would pass rush from the inside. Well, now he's more likely to pass rush from the outside. I mean, he could still move inside and you have Lawson and Nealand outside. You can move Marshawn around too. But, I just think we're going to see multiple things.
Yeah. Okay. And Golston with his length and size, don't you agree? He's good against the run, from what I've seen so far.
He plays better off the edge, too. I love that Zimmer wanted to try him out. I mean, obviously he played defensive end before, but when they moved him into the interior, I like the fact that Zimmer wants to give him more opportunities off the edge. I feel like he's a great pass rusher as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see a lot.
And the other thing, Bonnie Joe, we were talking about yesterday is this is Chauncey's fourth year, the final year of his rookie contract. Right. So with this opportunity, it is a golden opportunity for him
in a contract
get
year
more
like
reps
that.
and really make hay in your contract year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see
what
Zimmer
to see what we would see from these guys and what Zim does.
Yes, for sure. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see what this offense does on this side of the ball. We're going to switch gears coming up in the next break, so stick with us right here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that 6th ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey's sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
Okay, Cowboys fans, it's Rally Days. Head to AT&T Stadium. This is inside joke. To experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek on Saturday, October 12th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get ready to cheer on your Dallas Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium, autographs from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, ticket giveaways, games, and more. Visit attstadium.com/Rally Days to get your tickets today.
I see what you did there on the
Yes,
intro.
I changed it because Jazzy makes fun of me for saying, all right.
It is okay. All right, ladies. This offense so far, finally getting some production there with Rico Dowdle. Love to see him get his first touchdown of the year, and CeeDee Lamb as well against the Giants. What did y'all like from this offense? We'll start with likes first, and then we'll move to dislikes. What did you like, Christy?
Dak had his best game of the year by far.
22 for 27?
Yeah, and it looks like the connection to CD, which the first few weeks was, you could tell was a little off.
dicey.
Looks like it'd be back and a little more efficient with the run. But again, it's the same thing from the previous couple of weeks. You've got to cut down on the penalties.
Yes, I have that. That's big.
Yeah. So still shooting yourself in the foot a bit, but major improvement. But particularly with Dak, he was outstanding.
Yeah, I like how active he was, and I really like how he spread the ball around. It was really impressive. And third down and red zone penalties, I mean, that'll just kill a drive. You'll know that. So that's really frustrating to see that. But yeah, and 30% on third down conversions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. It's got to be better. You want to be that in the mid 40s or higher, and
absolutely,
yeah, and that's beyond.
Sorry, after I said that, then I looked right at Christy.
We're joking because we have these verbal crutches, you call it, when you use the same words over and over, and absolutely is mine, absolutely. So, no, the thing is, now that you're 4 games in, it is what Mike McCarthy says with September football. You're kind of like showing you, but now at this point, you're showing who you are. And so what we've seen so far, we don't like. And you cannot get through a season with a third down conversion percentage in the low 30s. That's just not going to cut it. And part of that goes to the run game and not getting in the rhythm or established. And I thought the run game has been better the last couple of weeks, but then you move behind the chains with those penalties. So it goes back to this team, and I'm sorry, 3 years into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, say the same thing every time, absolutely. And that is the teams, not just Cowboys, but across the NFL, you're not good enough to beat yourselves. If you beat yourselves, it's hard enough to beat the opponent. When you're beating yourself as well, you just can't. Teams just can't overcome that in this league because the margins are so small.
Yeah. I was glad, though, to see a little bit more of the run game kind of, because we all know if you don't have a good run game, you don't win games at the end of the day. And that's something that's always been concerning, and get that pressure off Dak. So I'm hoping as the weeks go on, they're kind of kinking out, right? They're ironing out all those kinks, and hopefully we'll figure it out this week even more, because I did see an upside, definitely.
For sure. I like the fact that the run game improved, only 80 yards on the ground, but I'll take it better than what they had the week prior. But when it didn't work, I like how McCarthy used Deuce Vaughn in space, made sure to get Rico Dowdle out there in space, because Rico Dowdle's touchdown was actually a receiving touchdown. So he's trying these different ways, screen plays, getting running backs involved in the screen game. I thought that was actually a different thing. I mean, that was kind of what they used earlier in the season last year until they started getting more confident in driving the ball downfield. Were y'all confident in the play calling? Did y'all like the play calling at all? Could there have been a different way?
I did. Part of it was, again, that there is so many penalties in the game that there was really no flow.
That's true.
And we have not seen the Cowboys offense yet.
Yeah. Right. We don't even know. Yeah. Hunter Lipke, can I mention him as well? Because he really impressed me. And I feel like listening to offensive coordinator Sean Nair, how he said that there's nothing this kid can't do, that he's pretty versatile. I mean, so I really love how they're using him. And I can see the confidence that Dak is seeing in him, because there's some real tough third down drives where I'm like, wow, real tight coverages. And it's happening. I like that. I don't know if y'all have seen him. But
would you be surprised to know that he got the most of all the running back snaps in the game last Thursday? So
I didn't know that, but
Lipke was on the field for 29 plays.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going offensive snaps, not special teams. So 52%. Rico was second with 25 snaps, 45%. Deuce only had 4. Zeke had 10. So this is the most, let's see, the previous week, Hunter Lipke had 30 snaps, but overall, the Cowboys had more snaps overall, so 38%. But you can see that Lipke's snaps per game is trending
up,
up,
yeah.
whereas Zeke's are trending down. And Deuce's, it's really more kind of like with matchups and stuff. Like Deuce had 10 offensive snaps in week 2, but the other weeks he's had 2, 5, and 4.
Do you guys agree with Zeke's snaps going down?
Yeah, I think part of it, though, is they're not like down in the red zone and these short yardage kind of things.
Yeah.
I really do believe it is more situational. And am I surprised that Rico's getting more snaps than Zeke? No, not at all. Because I think that even if they were getting in a rhythm, converting third downs, and I think that we would see more Rico.
But Zeke still looked pretty good compared to like from all the other games. He still had some valuable contributions that I saw as well. So I think it's working right now. I would be happy to see Dalvin Cook elevated. I know he's ready. I know he knows the playbook. He knows the terminology. So I know that's the kind of people don't want to talk about that. But I would. I don't know, Chris. You may see something different. I'd love just to see him in there. You know?
I think the issue is, for example, you've elevated Carl Lawson.
Yeah, I know.
You only get 2 elevations per week. And so they've done these elevations by what you need.
Yeah.
And they've needed defensive end, and then they used Nick Vigil. He was elevated the first 3 games. Who's Nick Vigil? He's a backup linebacker who plays a lot on special teams. I think the thing that hurts that hurts Dalvin Cook is he's not a special teams guy, at least that we know of.
That is true.
A backup running back, and you could say, well, Zeke's a backup running back now. Well, but the Hunter Lipke's, the Deuce Vaughns, and
They
even
all play
Rico,
special teams. And they're good on special teams.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's an issue. But with the situation as it is with not just defensive line, I mentioned Carl Lawson being elevated. Remember in the game Thursday, they also elevated Amani Oruwariye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow, that was just, didn't even practice that one. And he ended up having the interception at the end of the game to clinch the win. So that was because of the injury to Kalen Carson. So again, but it just kind of is going to be a
priority
week-to-week thing. Yeah.
With the running back situation and the struggles with the run game, do y'all still feel that it's the lack of ability within this personnel, or is it this offensive line? Which one do y'all think? But I know the beginning of the year we're thinking it's maybe, well, at least I'll speak for myself. I was thinking that it was more so the personnel wasn't there to get it done. And that's, again, because we hadn't seen the attempts. That's something that Mike McCarthy even mentioned. But over time, starting to think this offensive line.
I was with you too. I wasn't sure about the personnel. If we had the backs could actually do it. If Pollard was going to be a big missing piece. But now I feel like we didn't really know what these guys were capable of. Now we're seeing it. Is it because the O-line is weak, and there's times where they're not able to get those lanes open and they need help. So that's I don't know, Chrissy, what you think. I think it's a combination of both is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And the penalties too, because remember when you fall behind, when you get a penalty and it's second, third long, you're having to pass the ball. And the other thing is, remember, for example, you mentioned Rico scoring on the touchdown pass, the screen. A lot of times, the NFL isn't the way it used to be. It's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust anymore. So the thing is, getting the ball out to your playmakers in space, which is what they did with Tony Pollard and the like. So think of some of these short deals. Screen's a little bit different how it's set up with blocking, but think of getting the ball out to the guys in space, and if it's these short passes, think of it as an extended handoff. So that's kind of, I think that if you look at just the rushing numbers, I think that that's too myopic. You have to look at the running backs' contributions holistically, and as well as how is the line blocking and what situations are you in, because you've been shooting yourself in the foot with penalties.
Right, with Tyler Guyton, I know
sorry.
Okay, I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But with
that,
with the holding penalties, that's what we talked about. When you get all those penalties, that's going to cause a big, big problem.
Is Tyler Guyton a concern for you guys moving forward, as in he's partially a reason for a chunk of these holding penalties?
Hey, he's a rookie. These are growing pains. That's part of it. That's part of it. He's also a very tall guy, so when you have guys coming around the edge with good bend and going low, that's difficult for a guy who's so tall.
And trying to replace Tyron Smith, that just
Yeah.
doesn't happen. A Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer potentially, right? It's hard to say with a rookie, but they say he's still not has his balance sometimes correct. They said he's kind of he's not using his hands and his feet like he should. There's so many things like fundamentals and details, Christy, we always spoke about. So it's those details. But they said they've been giving him a lot of self-scouting tapes for him to watch and to show, okay, what is your opponent seeing? What can I work on? And he said it's really, really helped him. I'm sure you both know about that. And I guess that's really, for Tyler himself, that it's helped him.
I hope so.
Okay.
We're gonna need it.
No, but also his
Love Tyler,
positive
though. It's
attitude
great.
and being studious and
sure.
wanting
Yes.
to get better. So all that being said, we are so glad to have a
100%.
talent like that.
I'm not
and a
done with
guy
him
who's
yet. I
taken
think being a rookie,
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
no, this
No,
is
you can't.
this is just part of the process.
Yes.
And really, it's honestly on the part of the process with two starting rookie offensive linemen. And granted, Cooper's been playing very well. Not surprising at all to me at all. But no, when you talk about Tyler Guyton, though, he does have another test in TJ Watt.
Yeah,
Possibly.
that's-
It could be matched.
yeah,
That could be a matchup that Terrence Steele could see
Yeah.
Sure.
more often on Sunday.
Yeah,
But
there is a bit of a break though because the guy who's opposite of TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, really
Highsmith.
good player.
He's actually hurt though.
Yeah, so
he's not
he
playing.
missed the previous game, and Tomlin said today that they're moving ahead as if he's not going to be able
Yeah.
to play this weekend as well. So you're getting a little bit of a break in that. You've got TJ Watt, but the bookend going to be a backup there.
oh, first thoughts on this Steelers defensive line, Christy.
Well, he's elite. The Cowboys are without Micah Parsons, who, I mean, so I would say TJ Watt, Bosa, and Micah are the three best pass rushers in the league. But I also think the thing about Watt is he's a catalytic player. And by that, I mean just making plays, right? Or, whether it's tackles for loss or and by the way, I should mention Max Crosby, one of the four best players. Max Crosby for the Raiders, because I'd love to have him too. But anyway, and then Cam Hayward.
Oh, he's a beast.
NFL Man of the Year, by the way,
Yeah.
great guy. But
And a veteran, 30 years old, but
oh
still,
my
like,
gosh,
he would never,
yeah.
doesn't even skip a beat.
Yeah, so this is a really great test for Cowboys offensive line that shall we say, has not hit their stride yet, has been hit with some penalties and is going to be tested with, as we said before, the two rookies in it.
And Coach Tom, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So Coach Tomlin was talking about how the groin injury with Alex Highsmith, Christy. So he said that DeMarvin Leal will be in place, and he said Leal reminds him of Lamar Woodley, which is good, good comparison. Someone who can do a lot, but he's a very versatile player. So he's obviously not Highsmith, but there is someone still going to take his place that can still do some damage.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to take more time to break down this Cowboys offense and Steelers defense up next. So stick with us right here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that sixth ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Wrangler Fall Fest. We'll celebrate the best of the autumn season with Wrangler Fall Fest at the Star right here in Frisco. Join us on Saturday, October 19th for a day full of fall fun for the entire family. Enjoy live country music, hang out in the beer garden, and compete in Western-inspired games. Plus, capture fall photo ops, savor seasonal bites, and enjoy Wrangler shopping. Admission and parking is free. Visit thestardistrict.com for more info.
Have y'all ever been?
We're going to have a beer garden here?
Yeah.
Way to go, Wrangler. Yes.
There we go.
I am there, October 19th.
Christy.
Yes. No, actually,
We do a little line dancing?
Our corporate partners with Wrangler,
Yeah.
they are a lot of fun. Had a chance to visit with them on some previous road trips and stuff, so they are good, solid partners.
It's like a little rodeo out there. Yeehaw.
Bonnie Jill's our equestrian here.
Yes,
our rodeo.
I'll
She's
bring my
our
horse
rodeo.
out there,
There you go.
in the beer garden with my Cowboys flag.
Oh, goodness.
Come out with the
Yes.
thing at the start of the rodeo.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I do that. I usually bring out
Really?
the
Oh, yeah.
the American flag, but I can use a Cowboys flag
All right.
with me and Rowdy.
Can you have an
videos.
American flag in one
Yeah.
hand and the cowboy flag in the other? Because your horse would know where to go.
Yeah, she would know, but with no reins at all in a crowd,
come
it could
on,
get dangerous.
come on, it'll be fun.
Yeah, right. No, she would never take off, but just
Wait,
in
you
case.
ride horses, seriously?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of
yeah.
horses at my ranch.
time.
Yeah, I compete in rodeo, barrel racing.
That's dope.
Yeah,
See, we have a real cowgirl.
Yeah. Couldn't be me.
I'm gonna bring my Elsa, my mare, out there.
I
okay?
love that for you.
Yeah,
Go
I'm gonna get
girl.
you on my horse.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. It's funny because I think it was, Brad was like, would you ever go scuba diving? And I'm like, you lost me there, Brad.
Yeah, I won't do that
Sorry.
either.
So, yeah.
'Cause I'm
all that
claustrophobic.
stuff I'm not
Would
doing.
you do it?
Horses?
Not
Yeah,
doing it.
absolutely.
Yeah, scuba diving.
yeah.
No,
I'll take videos of y'all. I will
yeah.
be
I'll do
there to
snorkeling you with the
support.
little thing out. With, yeah.
I love that for y'all. All right, ladies. Whew.
Off topic. All right, let's dial back in.
Let's dive back into this matchup. What are some of the biggest concerns if you had to choose one for this Cowboys offense heading into Sunday?
Yeah, I'd just like to see more consistent play on the offensive line and get the run game going better, more efficiently, eliminating the penalties. I'd like to see Brandon Cooks a little more.
Same.
Sorry, I know
I have
I'm
him down
supposed to
there
choose
too.
one thing,
Yeah, I
but
have him as well.
I just don't. As we were saying in the first segment, we still haven't really seen this Cowboys offense
No,
yet
we have not.
operating on all cylinders. Not even really close to it. So more efficiency, and the other thing, it's not just converting on third downs, but once you get down into the red zone, that was that's been a weak point and was a point of emphasis coming out of or going into
And that 2-minute
out
drill,
of week
too.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to reiterate what Chrissy said, but
so you're
basically the same, being able to establish that run. Hopefully I don't want to do hero ball, but having someone that really breaks out, in the run game and then be able to really open up that offense. That's what I'm hoping.
Both of those things start with field position. That's what I'm going with. I want to see better starting field position. So that starts obviously with Kevontae Turpin or Wanye Thomas, whoever the hell is back there returning. And because the
like
Cowboys
that, yeah.
haven't had a good starting field position, they've been having to drive the full length of the field. And I mean, I feel like if there's better starting field position, we'll see a little bit of what this offense really is. But when you talk about this offensive line, Christy, it's not going to be easy just because TJ Watt is a half sack away from the NFL 100 sack club. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. But what else do you feel like he does well aside from the sacks as being one of the NFL's best?
Yeah, just
guys
making
at
those
sacks?
catalytic plays.
Catalytic plays.
And then they also, they added Patrick Queen at linebacker, and we mentioned Cam Hayward, and I mean, he's, the people who really follow football, he's very well known, but even in Pittsburgh and with that kind of blue collar and defensive line kind of thing, even he's overshadowed by T.J. Watt. And the other thing is, I'm so excited about going to Pittsburgh because we only get to go there once every 8 years.
And there is
It
a rivalry there, big
fantastic
time.
atmosphere. I mean, that is
Yeah,
real
they are
football.
real football.
This is my opinion.
Those
Green
fans,
Bay, Lambeau
yes,
Field.
exactly.
You
The old
real,
school.
You want real,
Yeah.
old school, real great atmosphere. And I know it's not Three Rivers Stadium anymore. Heck, they don't even call it Heinz Field anymore. But you know, that to me, that's like real football, and they still get those terrible towels going and stuff like
And
that.
they know the game.
They do.
Those fans actually really know the game, and it gets kind of hostile, you know. And they're drinking. You go back to Steel Curtain days, and I don't know. I like it there. I like it. I just like that football atmosphere.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun.
And the other thing is, we're going to get real lucky with the weather. It's going to be like in the 70s,
Oh, that's
and it's going to
beautiful
be
weather.
very mild, just as it was in
At
New
kickoff
York last
at
week.
night?
But it's a night
Yeah.
kickoff, so it might be more like in the upper 60s
Okay.
by the time we go. But Heinz Field, Accenture Field, it's right on the lakes, right? Not
I
lakes.
know.
The Three Rivers coming together. That's the old name of Three Rivers Stadium. But
I always call it by
was
the old
always
stadium's
but
name.
but you would get like a wind is very difficult place to kick there, and in fact for many years they didn't have like a field goal of over 50 yards, which was crazy because they've had some really great kickers there for the Steelers. The point of this whole thing is usually kicking can be affected there in Pittsburgh, but I think that with these mild temperatures that bodes well for the Cowboys when you have a Brandon Aubrey and you have such a solid kicking game with both
And the only reason
Aubrey
he
and
missed
Anger.
that kick is because I think, my personal opinion, I think that McCarthy should have called a timeout because he didn't.
100%.
He didn't have his hips. He even said my hips weren't placed, and so I'm not going to blame Aubrey on that. I don't know what y'all think, but I think he should have called timeout.
Yeah. All right. Last time the Cowboys made the trip to Pittsburgh, they actually won that matchup.
That was
Yeah,
so
that was
great.
a great.
No,
Yeah.
Dak and Zeke.
That was a great
when
game.
Zeke at the end with the long. Oh my gosh. No, that was so. Dak and Zeke that rookie year, because remember going into the season, Romo was out and this rookie fourth round pick, and Kellen Moore had been hurt, and Dak's gone from a fourth string quarterback at the start of camp, and oh man, it's going well. They're undefeated, but it was that game in Pittsburgh that was sort of the coming out party.
Pivotal,
But
don't
that
you
was
think?
like the emphatic of.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, we really do have something here. We really do have something going here.
So here we go. Maybe we do it again.
Yeah, I mean, this is the number one team in the AFC North.
Yeah.
They're 3-1. Granted, I think they still should have beat the Colts on Sunday, but that's a whole different
You know,
story.
on the other side of the ball, I know we're doing a lot about
No, you're good.
Cowboys
Go ahead.
offense, but defense. Another matchup I'm kind of concerned by is Kalen Carson and George Pickens. If that ends up,
That's if Kalen Carson plays.
that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
he does play,
Yeah, and
that's a concern
you
of
know,
mine.
with Trayvon, they tried to have him follow Malik Neighbors last week, and he did for a lot of it. But what they were doing with Neighbors was starting him inside in the slot and then motioning him out once Trayvon had committed to one side or to the deal. So I wonder, it'll be interesting to see if maybe Trayvon travels again.
I'm interested to see how this secondary performs, just if Kalen Carson's a no-go.
Yeah.
And then you have, granted, Amani Aruarie.
you gotta say it. You gotta say it fast.
Well done. Well done. Good job,
Amani
Nicole.
Aruarie. Oh my goodness, I had it right
Just
the
say
first time.
AO. Just say
AO. Woo. Game-sealing interception. I think he should get the start over Andrew Booth. I think that would be a good look for him. What do you think, Christy?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
I
surprised
think
either.
that if you I know what that question will come up tomorrow morning in Mike McCarthy's press conference, and we'll probably get the coach speak of it's an open competition. But I don't know though. When you get benched at halftime like Booth did, I don't know how well that bodes going into the next week.
Who's your X factor in this game?
Oh man, I still got to study some more. I've only seen two of Pittsburgh's games.
Cowboys offense, X factor.
Jake Ferguson. And here's why, because I'm going to go back to something Mike Tomlin said today. Remember what we said earlier when he said, if you've got red paint, you paint your barn red. So this was all in the opening statement for Mike Tomlin. So the reason I point that out is the question was not, oh, what about Dallas and who concerns you? This is in his thing at the beginning, and he talks about Dak and CD, but then he says, let's see, really have gained an appreciation for the development of Ferguson at tight end. I remember watching him up close at Mobile, that's the Senior Bowl, at Mobile, Alabama a couple years ago when he came out and was really impressed with his skill set. Had a chance to talk to his grandfather while I was watching practice, the great Barry Alvarez, and so I enjoyed that. But man, Ferguson's play is impressive, and how he's evolved as a player is really impressive. And Dak's utilization of him within their offense is impressive, but they've got a lot of eligibles to manage, man. You focus or get hyper-focused on those two, too much of a guy like Brandon Cooks can ruin your day. And so we better play a total game in terms of minimizing those guys. So it's just interesting that, he mentions Dak, he mentions CD, and spent more time talking about the tight end.
Yeah.
Who's your X factor offensively?
I'd love, Prescott to Lamb. I'd love to see that really open that up and be able to get that connection going and multiple touchdowns. That's a big take, but that's what I'd love to see because with the Steelers, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball much. They're really good at stopping the run. So, and remember last week I talked about Mozzie. I think he was going to be the one that was the impact, and he was. That was the best 4 quarters I've seen him play. I thought he played pretty well, considering I thought he needed to be that. And weren't you happy with the way he played?
Oh, yeah, by far his best game. And Pittsburgh, their last game, Najee's, he's a great, he's a very good running back.
Yeah.
But, man, they were struggling with their run as well. Now, but the thing is, Justin Fields is one of these mobile quarterbacks who is, if you
running
let
out of
him
the
out of the
pocket.
well, get him out, he can. So some of their rushing yards are done by the quarterback, kind of like Deshaun Watson. And
he did everything. If you look at the stats with the Colts, look at it. It's all Justin Fields. Yeah.
There was something I saw about Justin Fields, though. He's thrown 53.3% of his passes outside the numbers. No, that was not it. It was this one, where it was. It was about play action. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on. Where did it go? I had it, y'all. Sorry. Oh, here we go. The Steelers utilized play action at the second highest rate in the NFL season. That's 37%, yet had the second lowest yards per attempt on play action passes.
Yeah. Well, I think if they, the one thing you don't want to do is let them get their run game going.
For sure.
Because if they get that run game going, it makes the play action pass more effective. And so, like I said, Najee Harris, the one thing is they also have Cordero Patterson, who has given the Cowboys fits in other years, like especially when he was with Minnesota. He's questionable with an injury. He got dinged up in the last game, so not sure if he's going to be available. If he's able to practice tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if he's listed as limited, but he's one of these Swiss Army knife kind of guys who's an excellent return man, can catch the ball, but run out of the backfield as well. So if he's not able to play, that's going to hurt their run game and hurt their offense.
And I know that for their offensive line, they have only
had
two guys. They've battled with injuries as well. They have 2 guys on their O-line that have started all 4 games, of course, due to injury. So I think this is an opportunity for this defensive line. Granted, we're dealing with our injuries as well. But I think it's a good opportunity for, new pass rushers to emerge. Maybe Marshawn Nealon, I don't know. Maybe a Chauncey Goldston. I don't know. Let's throw that out there.
It's their time to shine right now.
Yeah, for sure. And Mozzie Smith to continue
keep it
what
up.
he's doing.
Yeah, there's a chance that they may be getting Seumalo back, one of their veteran guards. He had missed a couple of games. If they get him back, that's really going to help because they've been going with some young backups at guard. And then they have the rookie center, and then, as we were talking about yesterday, their rookie first-round pick tackle out for the year with a dislocated kneecap. So, as Cowboys Nation laments all the injuries to the Cowboys defensive line and to the secondary, the Pittsburgh fans don't want to hear it because they've been hit hard in their offensive line.
Real fast, who has the biggest test ahead of them on Sunday?
Tyler, Guyton.
Cowboys offense.
Oh, yeah.
Guyton, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tyler, but
I guess I was
kind of picking
I
on
was
him
gonna
today.
go Terrence Steele because I truly feel like they're gonna match up T.J. Watt with Steele.
That as well.
So definitely gonna be a lot of fun to watch. We're gonna be talking about the Cowboys defense, Steelers offense on a Wednesday. So make sure to tune in with us.
But we have Christy's going to talk about the helmet.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
go
You know
ahead,
what? We
my
can
bad.
save it for Friday if you want.
No, because I'm not on Friday.
Oh.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
All right, I'll do a fast version. Okay, fun fact. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team that have a logo on just one side of their helmet. So it's a black helmet with the gold stripe down the middle, and then the Steelers logo is just on one side. Well, what's up with that? Well, they used to have gold helmets, and they used to have the player's number on the helmet. But in 1962, the owner's son, so Art Rooney's son Dan, went to the equipment manager with this new logo and asked him to put it on the right side of the helmet, which the equipment manager, Jack Hart, did. But he only put it on the right side. He wasn't sure whether the Rooney's wanted it on both sides or not, so they just did the one side. Well, the Steelers weren't really very good back then, okay? And they put it on just the one side, and they won the game.
Yeah. Good luck charm.
It's
Superstitious.
kind of good luck.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. 1962, they actually made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they never bothered to put a second logo on the other side. So whether you wanted to say superstition or not, but it's just that the owner's son, Dan Rooney, who ended up being the owner for so long, and later obviously ambassador to Ireland and everything else, the great Rooney family. It just wasn't clear to put it on one side or two sides, so that Jack Hart just put it on one side, and it stayed that way since 1962.
I like the story just because when I was a little girl, I asked my daddy, I'm like, why, what's going on? And he told me that story.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh, so you already knew the story.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
And then there's little diamonds on the helmet there, the little, so it says Steelers. It used to just say Steel, and then after a couple years they added Steel, the ERS. But so that those little like 3 diamond looking things, it's something the Steelers petitioned the American Iron and Steel Institute to use that logo, and so the colors have a certain meaning, and it's the 3 colors
Red, blue, and
that
yellow.
represent what's used to make iron.
Yeah.
Because steel workers, right? All the steel mills in Pittsburgh. So they're
good fans.
Tie into the community. Great fan base.
Some pretty cool things, but hopefully the Cowboys don't worry about it.
But we're still going to get the W.
They're going to get the W and handle business. All right, we'll be back here tomorrow in the SWBC studio at 4 o'clock. Cowboys Nation, make sure to tune in here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. We'll be back tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!